will be Senator. Go to our Facebook page.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We are on AMRE Finance platform, right? And we are live on Facebook. We are live on social media. So today is our launch, AMRE Finance launch. So we are actually very delighted to have everyone across the globe. So we have folks here from all across Europe, Africa, and America and Australia, of course. I see folks also from Asia. So folks, we are very happy to have you on here today. And we're just gonna go ahead and start with the program. That was a nice music we had in the background. And again, it says a lot about what we are about to do here today. It's time for Africa indeed, it's time for Africa. So again, welcome to AMRE Finance. AMRE Finance is a digital platform that seeks to address Africa's unique financial and socio-economic inclusion challenges through a hybrid of fiat and crypto-based crowdfunding, where creators of campaigns get funding from backers and build communities around their common interest and heritage. Again, the key words here are community and common interest. Again, it's time for Africa. Indeed, it's time for Africa. So what we're going to do is that I'm going to play a short video that will introduce you to what is AMRE Finance. So we're going to go ahead and play this short video. Okay. A short video that will introduce us. Okay, let me work on the sound here. Let's see. The sound.
Digital funding alternative. AMRE Finance will also build Africa's largest virtual marketplace for fractional and impact funding and create an opportunity to give a token of gratitude to campaigns with proof of concept. Finally, AMRE Finance will create an Africa-wide marketplace for pre-selling of reward items and measurable social impact. Our mission is in service of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, notably to reduce social inequalities between communities, Goal 11, and to increase the proportion of internet users and digitally sourced capital, Goal 17. AMRE Finance is targeting two customer segments, creators, and backers of campaigns. Creators are either impact campaigners who address UN Sustainable Development Goals, such as poverty reduction and clean energy, or service providers who drive community bonding and emancipation through cultural, medical, philosophical, and educational activities, or indeed African talents who uplift the African spirit through their work, such as painters, craftsmen, writers, entertainers, and more. On the other hand, backers are either B2C, that is, friends, family, and network, who back friendly campaigns and earn reward, or B2B, that is, donor organizations and impact investors who endorse, pledge, invest, and donate to impact campaigns. AMRE Finance products give a unique customer experience to backers and creators alike. They are also tailored to address asymmetric information and create value. These include customer e-verification, virtual incubator support, due diligence review by certified professionals, smart disbursement contact, endorsement by accredited organizations, virtual community to validate proof of concept, and AMRE tokens. Are you a B2B or B2C backer and wish to back a campaign on our platform? Do you have a creative idea and wish to get backing for your campaign? Join any of our social media communities on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram and interact with like-minded people, or drop us a note about your campaign. If you would like to submit your campaign information instantly, go to our website www.amrefinance.com and you will be able to fill the campaign form online or download it and fill it offline. It's time for Africa, so let's just do it.
Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And again, once more, ladies and gentlemen, you are welcome to AMRE Finance platform, AMRE Finance launch. Again, it's time for Africa, and there is no other platform as wonderful as this one. Again, I'll go ahead and talk a little bit about why we are here today. We had this introduction about AMRE Finance. With no longer no much ado, I'm going to go ahead and introduce us to our founder's vision. So our founder's vision and why we have this platform, I'm going to go ahead and introduce you to our founder's vision and a team presentation. So let's go ahead and if our founder is online, please go ahead and bring him in so we can go ahead and introduce our founder's vision. Okay.
Hello, everyone. I'm very happy to be on board at this time to talk to you about AMRE Finance. It's such a pleasure to have so many of you out there from the USA, from Australia, Europe, Africa, all across the world, actually, tuning in to listen to this novelty which is coming up. What I'm about to do right now is just to give you a heads up on where this whole idea of AMRE Finance is coming from. Okay? And as the production crew tries to set up the slides, what I can tell you is that AMRE Finance has come to unlock Africa's potential. Back in the days, several thousands of years ago, Africa was a continent which was deemed to be the cradle of civilization. But today, we find ourselves lacking in terms of our relationship with other communities around the world. So my vision for AMRE Finance is basically for us to uplift the African spirit. And there is a very beautiful poem which actually tells the message even stronger, which I'm going to read out to you. The poem goes thus: Africa, arise. Africa, rise and uplift thine good spirit. a healthy, generous, happy, prosperous, kind, and creative spirit shall arise from the ground. Now the time is right. Come rain, come sun. Make a rainbow, which ancient myths say holds a treasure of gold coins where it hits the ground. These gold coins we shall give and receive as AMRE tokens of gratitude to creators and backers within Africa and beyond, and uplift our communities. It is time for Africa, so let's just do it. So this poem just summarizes really what is behind the mission, which is for us as Africans to reach out and get hold of the AMRE tokens once again. And once we get hold of these tokens, we will use them and exchange them and create value for ourselves, uplift our African spirits and the African heritage. But the million-dollar question is, why now? What I'd like to say is that this is not a political project. What we're trying to do goes beyond politics. Several Africans have tried over the decades, from the Kwame Nkrumahs of this world, the Nelson Mandela, the Patrice Lumumba, you name them. They attempted a political project. And if you look at where we are as a continent in Africa, you imagine that there's a long way to go. So this is not a political project. It has absolutely nothing to do with politics. It is a technological project, I must say. It is a crowdfunding platform which leverages the most recent advancements in technology, such as machine learning, artificial intelligence, cloud computing, the Internet of Things. We're going to leverage all of this technology to bring funding at the doorstep of creators of campaigns and to get backers to give tokens of gratitude and feel rewarded for doing so. Digitalization is inevitable. And at this point, we feel COVID-19 just came to buttress the point that wherever you are around the world, virtually, you are able to create an impact. And that's what we're going to do with our digital platform called the AMRE Finance Crowdfunding Platform. So that's why we think the time is right to do so. We'll now move forward to the next part of it, which is basically to present the team members. Because you would imagine I'm the founder of this project, but I'm not alone. There are other people who have come on board to join me in realizing this vision. Obviously, I'm Jean-Paul Luc, I'm the founder. You also have Henry Shelton, who is in Dallas, Texas, in the United States of America. He's an African American. His forefathers left the continent over 300 years ago, and he's really excited to go into his network in the USA, talk to ultra-high network people, and see how he can connect with them and get them to support Africa in uplifting its spirits. So that's what really drives Henry's motivation to join this campaign. We also have Nihat. Nihat is a Swiss Turkish. He's based in Switzerland. He has over 20 years of IT experience. He's basically the one working on our platform, on our website, and all the other aspects of our digital footprint. So beyond these three, you also have other team members. You have Innocent Anchan, who is a legal counsel for AMRE Finance. He's a seasoned barrister based in Yaoundé. You have Manfred Tabe, who's a hype man. He was on the stage a few moments ago introducing myself. Manfred has an IT background. He is a business intelligence developer. His main role in this campaign, in the AMRE Finance campaign, is basically engagement, community engagement, because the ethos of AMRE Finance is to build a virtual African community which will touch all the four corners of Africa. We have Cosmos as well. Cosmos looks after controls and governance. Obviously, he has a lot of banking, audit and risk experience, which is going to leverage to be able to make sure that we maintain trust and confidence and transparency in the things we do in AMRE Finance. And finally, at a high level in our senior leadership team, we have Edmond Ade. Edmond Ade has over 14 years of experience in the banking industry. He's done private banking, investment banking, and he's also involved right now in wealth management. So he's based in South Africa, while Cosmos is based in the UK. So I'm not going to present the entire team to you. I just thought I should let you know who are the key guys who are looking after the leadership team. So at this point, I think I will hand the floor back to our hype man, to Manfred, for him to continue to take us through the agenda of the day.
Thank you, Mr. Jean-Paul. Thank you. This is our son. This is an African son indeed, who has come back to help his Africa. So again, we have heard from our CEO, Mr. Jean-Paul Nil, and we're going to be moving forward with the program. And at this time, I want to call on, we're going to be talking a little bit also on our pilot phase for our program. But again, I want to remind us why we are here. We are here for Africa. We are here. It's time for Africa. It's time for us to do something to help our folks in Africa. It's time for us, for the folks who live in Africa, for lovers of Africa, for the friends of Africa. This is the time. This is your time. We've always heard about the callings. The current call is going out, and this is the time for Africa. We want everybody on board. This is the time to actually go out and actually see how we can build our continent, rebuild our continent. Africa has always been great. We're going to make it great again. We're going to make Africa the greatest continent that it has always been. So at this point, we're going to go ahead and we're going to introduce our pilot phase of this program now. So I'll go ahead and ask that we go to the next point, which is our pilot stage. So let's just continue on that.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Godfrey T, chairperson of Mwana Africa Education Foundation, the word Mwana Africa being Swahili for Child of Africa. All across Africa, we cherish the ideal of a free society, one in which all people live together in harmony and equal opportunity. We crave an Africa that is the envy of the world, an Africa that takes a lead in equitable economic development, good healthcare, infrastructure, science, technology, a real-world Wakanda kingdom, if you will. And as we do that, we must in equal measure also cherish the gift of education, because such a future for Africa requires knowledge, resources, and insight that only education can bring. The great Nelson Mandela so aptly explained the importance of education. No country can ever develop unless its citizens are educated, he said. Education is the great engine for personal development. It is through education that the daughter of a peasant can become a doctor, that the son of a mine worker can become the head of the mine.
I think we're having some technical difficulty with the video. The sound.
But African dream may just be that, a dream. Put in even more African terms, and in the spirit of Ubuntu, an uneducated child makes my life poorer, even if it's not my child. Of the many reasons for this, conflict and systemic marginalization are of primary interest to Mwana Africa. Mwana Africa Education Foundation is a duly registered NGO that seeks to cater for the educational needs of conflict-affected and marginalized African children, irrespective of their race, gender, or nationality. Mwana Africa's first program is focused on the hundreds of thousands of refugee children resulting from the ongoing conflict in the English-speaking regions of Cameroon. Working with a number of stakeholders such as churches and other faith-based organizations, supporters, donors, local government, and most importantly, host communities and families, we aim to provide ongoing academic and vocational training to these needy children, many of them without their parents. None of the above could ever be possible without the support of donors and backers who share the same aspiration for making a meaningful social impact on the African continent and humanity as a whole. Far from being just another crowdfunding platform, it's singular, first of its kind, focused on social impact projects in Africa, means that it is uniquely suited for Pan-African social change organizations like One Africa to help it raise funds from backers who possess a shared interest as well as an African heritage. In this sense, AMRE Finance can be so valuable in helping address Africa's financial and socio-economic inclusion challenges. Also, AMRE's emphasis on conducting proper due diligence on listed projects, as well as their commitment and capacity to provide ongoing support and oversight, are all confidence-building aspects that can help it set itself apart from other platforms and help it avoid some of the pitfalls that have befallen other social crowdfunding platforms of the past. I would like to end here by commending the creators of this very noble and uplifting platform. As One Africa, we're very proud of our association with you. We wish AMRE Finance eternal success. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, One Africa.
My name is T, chairperson of.
Okay. Thank you very much. And again, that was just a tease of what we're going to be experiencing the whole day of today. And again, One Africa, thank you. We are very, very appreciative of what you just did out there. Talk to the folks about how Africa will not be held by somebody out there, it will be held by ourselves. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Indeed, somebody has said that before. That's the key thing. We are the ones we've been waiting for. Nobody works for Africa if we don't work for Africa, if we don't stand up for Africa. So at this point, what we're going to do is we're going to go to our next phase of our program, which is going to be basically hearing about a creator experience. Remember, we talked here about creators of campaigns and backers. So we're going to hear about a creator experience. And with no longer without further ado, let me go ahead and actually pull the video so you guys can see what we're talking about being a creator. So the creator experience. Here we go.
From the sound crew, we're going to have the CEO talk about the pilot phase at this point.
Okay. So let the CEO, we're going to call again for our CEO, Jean-Paul Nook, to come up and talk to us about the pilot phase of the program. And I know the creator experience also will be part of that. So let him talk a little bit about that, please.
Thank you very much, Manfred. I'm really excited to present the pilot phase to the audience right now. The pilot phase actually begins today with this event because, as you can see from the invite, this is a launch of the pilot phase of our project, of the AMRE Finance project. So the pilot phase runs from the 21st of December right up to the 21st of March. It's a 3-month period, okay? And during this phase, we have what we call the 100-1000 plan. So I'm going to spend the next couple of moments talking to you about the 100-1000 plan. So the question is, what's the 100-1000 plan? The 100-1000 plan basically is for us to recruit onto our platform 1,000 B2C backers, okay? And what does that really mean? B2C backers, these are friends, family, people within our business network who want to support campaigns on the AMRE Finance platform. We want to have at least 100 of them. As of this moment that we speak, we have 42 who have already indicated their interest on LinkedIn, and we have 105 on Facebook. Because the AMRE Finance project is to build a virtual community for Africa. We are starting off with social media communities to recruit these backers. So I encourage each one of you, if you have a moment, just go to our LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, and join the community. You will find a lot of material concerning details of what we are doing. Okay. Now, the second aspect of the plan is the 100, because again, I said it's the 100,000 plan. We are looking to recruit 100 creators of campaigns onto the platform. And who are creators? Creators are Africans, friends of Africa, people who love Africa or who care about Africa, who have social campaigns that could impact Africa by uplifting the African spirit, by realizing some of the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals that will create social impact on Africa. Or this could simply be providers of services which create common bonding within the African community, however small or big the community might be. So it could be, for example, cultural organizations. It could be educational organizations like, rural schools. It could be, even medical organizations. It could be a health center, that caters for the needs of a particular community. So those are the sort of campaigns that we are talking about. We are looking to recruit at least 100 campaigns within our pilot phase. And I can tell you that as of this moment that we speak, we already have 15 campaigns that have been submitted to us. At least the creators have indicated interest to submit the campaigns to us. We have 7 campaigns from the area of health. There's a campaign, for example, to deal with sickle cell. You'll see a video on that shortly. There's a campaign on telehealth, so as to provide, to create a virtual connection between doctors and patients. That's what was presented in the video just before I started talking. You also have agricultural projects. For example, there's one which is looking to improve on the quality of meat, of broiler chicken meat that we eat. There's also a campaign on rural electrification through solar panels, so that's clean energy. And we also have 2 campaigns to uplift the African spirit. One of the campaigns is a writer who writes on African stuff, and the other one is a fashion designer. So you can see how broad the spectrum is in terms of the sort of campaigns that we are earmarking. So, at this point, I would say, if you have any idea, think about it. Think about the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. Think about community services. It could even be religious organizations, traditional organizations. So far as they create the common bond, then they are of interest to us as AMRE Finance because they will uplift the African spirit. Finally, the 100,000 plan actually has a 10. So in reality, we should be talking about the 10, 100, 1,000 plan, because we started off this whole AMRE Finance project with backers who told us, backers from our network. We are talking about ultra high net worth individuals. We're talking about international donor organizations. We're talking about impact investors sitting in Switzerland, in the USA, in Europe, and some of them are also in Africa, I must assure you, who, based on some of the work we've been doing, gave us the impetus to say, go out there, recruit 100 campaigns, recruit 1,000 backers, show us that there is an opportunity out there in the market in Africa, and we'll put the funding, we'll make them available for these creators of campaigns to realize their dreams. So we've earmarked 10 on 10 already. So out of the 10 backers that we have earmarked, we are currently doing pre-selling and onboarding so that we can have them on a platform. They can actually tell creators how much money is available to back their projects and give them the confidence that what we are doing is serious. So that's, in a nutshell, what the 100,000 campaign or plan is, which again, like I said, will run over a 3-month period from the 21st of December, which is today, right up to the 21st of March. I'll probably hand back the microphone to the hype man or to the crew for the next aspect of the presentation.
Thank you very much, our humble CEO, Mr. Jean-Paul Nook. And it was quite interesting hearing about our backers. And with no further wait, we're going to go ahead and introduce our next person, our next phase. We're going to be talking about the creator experience, and this is basically, we're going to be talking about how we go in the system and create, what does it feel like, creating a campaign within our system and getting folks to come in and follow those campaigns and see what we have, for them. So let's go ahead with the creator experience and hear what we can learn from that. Okay. Let me go ahead and cue this for you. Let's go on. So again, our creator experience will be basically, okay, let's go ahead. I have a video on. Let me go ahead and play this. Our creator experience, let's go ahead and put up some sound for that. Okay, I think we're good.
Esteemed guests, good evening and welcome to this event. I'd love for you to quickly imagine knocking your knee on a table, the edge of a table. Now think of how much pain that must feel like, sustained for over 2 weeks. That is the fate of many patients who are affected by the sickle cell disease. It is from this pain that was birthed the Sickle Cell International Foundation. Over the past 3 years, we have gone on to impact over 100 patients and their families. We have been able to support them in many different ways and save them over $60,000 in medical expenses. But there is only so much we could have done in such a time. And that is why we are excited about listing on the AMRE Finance platform in order to raise more funds that is going to reach out to a lot more patients and support them in many different ways. So next time you knock your knee over a table, there is someone out there who is experiencing that pain for weeks on end. Thank you so much. Esteemed guests.
Thank you. That was a small short video on one of our creators, which was on our International Sickle Cell Foundation, which is actually based in Africa, helping those with sickle cell, and it actually brings to light that this is actually something that we actually face in our community, as far as the melatonin folks. We actually have a sickle cell issue. I think everybody knows someone who actually has an issue with sickle cell, and it's about time that we have a foundation as such that is actually helping with that. So we're going to continue again on our creator experience, and this time we're going to be thinking about how to create a campaign within our platform. So this is actually going to be, we're going to push this through with our CEO again. We're going to bring Jean-Paul Nook back on stage to talk to us a little bit about the creator experience and how to create a campaign on our system, how it's done, and how simple it is, basically. So whenever we're ready, let me go ahead and pull our CEO, our honorable CEO, bring him into the platform. All right.
Thank you very much once again. I'm back to talk to you about the creator experience. But before I do so, I'd just like to remind you, because I think you already know, that we have seen 3 videos so far.
Okay, I think we're having some technical difficulties in there with our CEO. And while we are waiting for him to for this to be fixed, fortunately with our Our videos, we have no control over them. But however, I'm going to wait for him to come up. While waiting for him, let's go ahead and pull something through. Let's listen to some sound. This is the time for Africa in this. People are crazy. Don't be a miss of their moment of hesitation. Just take your day. I feel it. Just take the way. Believe it. You get down, get up. Oh, when you get down, get up. Take it. It's time for Africa.
Yeah, welcome back.
It's time for Africa indeed.
It looks like there was some technological hitch. It looks like there was a bit of a technological hitch, but again, that's why we're doing this project, because we've got to solve these problems. We've got to uplift the African spirit. But I was saying a few moments ago that we've seen 3 videos so far. The first one was what AMRE Finance is all about. The second one was one of the creators of a campaign who has agreed to launch his campaign on our platform, and that was the virtual health service. The one you just saw a few moments ago is a creator of a campaign which is called the International Sickle Cell Foundation. So the presenter whom we saw on that video is himself a survivor of sickle cell and has created this campaign from South Africa, catering for over about 10. Spend the next couple of moments.
I think we're still having some technical issues. Let's go ahead and
just taking you through the experience you will get when you come to create your campaign on our platform. What will happen is that we'll ask you for your basic campaign information. So this is basically a text description of what your campaign is, the name of the campaign, the target, audience. It could be a village in, I don't know what, Malawi, whatever it is. How much money you need to raise, what is the value you're going to be creating with your campaign, and that's what we call a reward. You will upload both the text description of your campaign, not more than 1,000 characters. You will upload photos if you've already started carrying out your campaign, photos of you, hands on deck, and videos as well. So
I think we're having some.
If it's a social impact thing,
okay.
Yeah. If you could lower the music a little bit so I can go ahead, please.
You're good. Go ahead.
Yes, so I was saying that if it's a social impact campaign, you would then have to show measurable social impact. If it's not a social impact campaign but uplifts the African spirit, you obviously need to show what rewards you'll be giving back to those who back your projects financially. So that's what will happen during the basic information phase. We'll interact with you, we'll give you a form to fill, which you can fill on our platform, online. There's an offline form as well that you can fill, and then give it to us through a USB flash disk, or send it to us by image of the process. The second stage of the process basically has to do with e-verification. Obviously, you don't want scammers, unserious people to come and waste your time creating campaigns on the platform. You want to be sure these are real people, these are natural people, these are legal people. So it must be an entity that is legally existing, or it must be a natural entity that's a human being like you and I. We will validate all of that through our anti-money laundering e-verification process. We'll use biometric technology to be able to validate that. So within a space of 24 hours, we will be able to tell if the person or the entity launching the campaign is
So we have a little technical glitch in there. I think our CEO should be coming back on again.
The next stage will be incubation. Now, incubation only applies to campaigns that are raising more than 5,000 US dollars. But at this stage, we will basically look at your campaign, sit down with you, and help you to write your theory of change. Because if social impact campaigns need to have what is called a theory of change. So you need to articulate what your social mission is, what are the activities you will carry out, what is the short-term output, what are the outcomes, what are the long-term outcomes, and how all of that flows or funnels into your social mission. So we'll help you to write that. We'll also help you to validate the market opportunity, because we don't want everybody will be excited to back it financially or to vote for it. At this stage as well, during the incubator phase, we'll help you to refine your business model, help you to build your financial plan. If it's an impact investment that has a return, you will then be able to demonstrate that there is a net present value for your business, and we'll help you to do all of that through the incubation phase. Now, after the incubation phase, we'll have what is called the due diligence phase. Now, due diligence applies to campaigns. Now, after the incubation phase, we'll have what is called the due diligence phase. Now, unless they are sure that an independent third party, a professional firm, like an accounting firm or a law firm, has been able to audit what you're saying, confirm that it's valid. So that's exactly what will happen. There will be an interface which will be for due diligence. Now, once that is done, then we will then get into a smart contract with you, which will be based on blockchain. Now, this smart contract will allow us to put in place piecemeal disbursements. That is to say, if the money, the funding which you are trying to achieve is raised, we will agree on a piecemeal disbursement subject to milestone fulfillment goals. So you've got to be able to show that you've been able to invest that portion. That's when we'll then disburse the second portion. So there will be installmental disbursements that's going to be managed through blockchain. Then we'll also have the AMRE tokens, which are utility tokens that will help you to facilitate financial flows between yourselves as creators and backers. Finally, you will then be able to promote your campaign on our platform. That is a time when you'll be talking to backers. It could be friends, family, or your business network. It could be international governmental organizations. It could be even government agencies that are backing projects that fall within the category. It could be, philanthropies. It could be charities, local ones as well as international ones, who look at what you're doing and feel the need to support it. So that's really a very critical phase. Typically, campaigns will be promoted on our platform for a period of 90 days, during which time, hopefully, the campaign will be able to raise the funding that they need. And once that's done, like I said, with the smart contract, we'll then begin to transfer the funds into your account for disbursement. So that's the customer experience that the creator will have with us. So it's a 6-step process which you will go through. And this is pretty straightforward, because we don't want to burden creators with too much complexity. Right now, we're asking creators to basically come to us, to our website, and begin to upload their campaign information, which is a good transition to the next aspect of my presentation, which is how do you go about uploading your campaign information. So I'll hand over back to the hype man.
Thank you, Mr. Jean-Paul Nook, our CEO. And at this point, we're going to go ahead and prepare us for the next phase of the program, which is how to create our campaign. So while we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and get some sound in here for us to hype us up a little bit more as we prepare to hear again once more about how to create our campaign. Okay, so our next phase of the program is how to create campaign on our site. So again, I'm going to go ahead and cue something for us. So let's bring something on the screen and see how to create campaign on our platform, basically. So and then I'm going to be reintroducing our CEO again, Mr. Jean-Paul Luc, to come in again and talk to us about how to create this campaign on our platform. So please, let's bring something in. Let's bring a video in, and our CEO. Okay, while we are waiting for our CEO, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and while we're waiting for the video to come up, I'll go ahead and cue something else again, so we can continue. While we're waiting, we are going to be enjoying some sounds from Africa, indeed, boy. Okay, so I see some images here. So let's go ahead and let me push it through.
And heritage. Through outreach, support, and partnership development activities, coupled with R&D on our digital platform and crypto tokens, AMRE Finance will create a cheaper, accessible, transparent, and reliable decentralized digital funding alternative. AMRE Finance will also build Africa's largest virtual marketplace for fractional and impact funding, and create an opportunity to give a token of gratitude to campaigns with proof of concept. Finally, AMRE Finance will create an Africa-wide marketplace for pre-selling of reward items and measurable social impact. Our mission is in service of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, notably to reduce social inequalities between communities, Goal 11, and to increase the proportion of internet users and digitally sourced capital, Goal 17. AMRE Finance is targeting two customer segments, creators and backers of campaigns. Creators are either impact campaigners who address UN Sustainable Development Goals, such as poverty reduction and clean energy, or service providers who drive community bonding and emancipation through cultural, medical, philosophical, and educational activities, or indeed African talents who uplift the African spirit through their work, such as painters, craftsmen, writers, entertainers, and more. On the other hand, backers are either B2C, that is, friends, family, and network, who back friendly campaigns and earn reward, or B2B, that is donor organizations and impact investors who endorse, pledge, invest, and donate to impact campaigns. AMRE Finance products give a unique customer experience to backers and creators alike. They are also tailored to address asymmetric information and create value. These include customer e-verification, virtual incubator support, due diligence review by certified professionals, smart disbursement contact, endorsement by accredited organizations, virtual community to validate proof of concept, and AMRE tokens. Are you a B2B or B2C backer and wish to back a campaign on our platform? Do you have a creative idea and wish to get backing for your campaign? Join any of our social media communities on LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram, and interact with like-minded people, or drop us a note about your campaign. If you would like to submit your campaign information instantly, Go to our website, www.amrefinance.com, and you'll be able to fill the campaign form online or download it and fill it offline. It's time for Africa, so let's just do it.
Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once more, viewers. Thank you, friends of Africa. Thank you, Africans, friends of Africa, those with interest of about Africa. At this point now, we're going to take ourselves to the next point of our program, which basically is going to be talking about creating campaigns on our platform, and we're going to be introducing pricing and fortnightly and things like that. So I'm going to go ahead and reintroduce our CEO, Mr. Jean-Paul Nup, to come on back onto the platform and talk to us about what we have next. So please, Mr. Jean-Paul, if you are there, you want to come back on to your screen. Okay, go ahead. You good?
Thank you very much, Manfred. Well, because again, like I said, this pilot phase is really about creating the connection with our customers, our creators. I'd just like to quickly take you through what it really takes to upload your campaign information on our platform. So what you see on the screen right now is an offline campaign information template. With this template, if you fill this template and send it to us by email, automatically we will then proceed to carrying out the e-verification process. Okay, so we're going to automatically check to see if you are an entity which is either natural or legal. But what does this template really require of you? So basically, you just need to state your name. So there's the creator information. So the person behind the campaign, you just tell us what your name is, or the name of your organization. You tell us where you're based, the country of residence, your email address, and your telephone number. Once you've done so, then you'll fill the next part of it, which is your campaign information. So the name of the project. So for example, the one which the guy from South Africa did, Dick did present a project on the International Sickle Cell Foundation. So what the name of the campaign will be is International Sickle Cell Foundation. And in terms of campaign category, it is going to be basically a UN Sustainable Development Goal campaign. So it's basically social impact campaign. So that's the category. And then he will obviously stipulate what the principal target beneficiaries are located. Now, I'm aware, having already started work with him, that his campaign is Pan-African. So any sickle cell patient in Africa is a target beneficiary. So he will basically just write in there Africa. Okay. Then once it's done, so like I said, we do a pre-screening on this form. So you must be above 18 years to be able to create a campaign on our platform. We have to also verify that there is a way which is legal, which is transparent, and which is reliable, that we can do the financial aspect of it, which is how do we transfer funds into your accounts in case your campaign gets backing from international backers. So you need to confirm to us that you have either a bank account, a credit union account, or a mobile money account. Then you will also, through the biometrics verification process, which will happen online, you will also need to confirm to us that you have a government issued ID. But at this stage of filling this form, you just need to check the box to let us know you'll be able to pass those tests. Because, for example, if you don't have a government issued ID, if you tell us you don't have a government issued ID or passport, there's no way we're going to proceed with your campaign. Again, all of this is to make sure that we protect the backers. We don't want them to transfer funds into campaigns that are being done by unserious people. That's what is called scam campaigns within the crowdfunding parlance. So once the pre-screening is over, the next thing we will do is to ask you to fill the text description. So it's basically just to tell your story. he will write in there his story about his life, how he was born a sickle cell patient, and what he has done so far around the campaign. Once that is done, and there we need a maximum of 2,000 characters so that we can at least have a full understanding of your campaign. Then you also need to tell us how much money you want to raise. That's what is called the funding goal, okay? And that should be in US dollars. So we take campaigns from as small as you can imagine in terms of monetary value to as big as you can imagine. Really, it's not about the size of the funding goal. It's really about the impact, the social impact, to what extent it can uplift the African spirit. Then we also have the target end date. You must state when you want your run on the platform. So by what date do you want to have raised the full amount of funding that you are trying to raise? Okay, and that should be typically maximum 90 days. Now, once you fill that on the form, you will then get into the other section, which is around value creation. Like I mentioned earlier on in this presentation, you need to be able to tell us if you're going to be creating social impact, if you're going to be pre-selling some of your reward items, or whether, what it is that you want to create as value. You must do something that can uplift the African spirit, that can help in the implementation of the UN Sustainable Development Goal, that can create community bonding and emancipation. So it is here that you will either describe the project in terms of its value add. You will also upload pictures or videos that best describe what this value add is. And I can tell you that once you have provided all of this information, you are done with the basic campaign information. There are 3 portals through which you can get this information to us. You can either upload it on a local USB drive and inform us. We will send one of our assistants, our customer service assistants. They will come over to you and pick it up. You can as well upload it on our Google Drive. There's a link below. So if you click on that link, it will take you to a folder on our Google Drive where you can upload it in there. For videos, because of the size of videos, sometimes it's not too easy to upload them. You can as well just go to YouTube and upload your video there. Then you give us the link to your video. We'll be able to access it from YouTube. Remember that this is an offline form, but the majority of our creators, because we are digitally focused, we want to fill this form directly online. So if you go to our website, which is www.amrefinance.com, you will then find a web form on there where you can fill in exactly the same information and we'll pick it up straight away. So that's the process of creating the basic information within our platform, which is step 1 of the customer experience. We would like, before the end of the first 1 month of our pilot phase, to already have our 100 campaigns so that we can use them to begin our e-verification process and incubation process. Over to you, Hypeman.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much, our CEO. Thank you. It was wonderful talking about how we actually go ahead and create this campaign in the system. Filling the form and then uploading the video on YouTube and then publishing the link on the form. So again, we're going to move now to the next phase of the program, which is basically we're going to be talking about pricing fortnightly webinars that AMRE Finance going to be doing. So the AMRE Finance Farm video. So this is we're going to be talking about. We're going to see a short video in here about AMRE Finance. It's called the AMRE Finance AMRE Farms video, and after that we're going to hear from our CEO again once more. So for now, I'll go ahead and cue the video and I'll put it live. So let's go ahead with the video, please.
School, Jackery.
Okay.
My name is Daniela Bless Ngala.
I'm a graduate of veterinary school, Jakiri. I've been working with AMRE Farms for 4.5 years now. We are excited to submit our campaign on your crowdfunding platform. Our campaign is to invest 20,000 euros in a state-of-the-art abattoir and cold storage unit so as to transform the market for broiler chicken for live chicken sales to fresh and frozen chicken sales at the convenience of the consumer. This project will go a long way to contribute to the achievement of the second United Nations Sustainable Development Goal to end hunger and malnutrition.
Okay. I think we're having some technical difficulties with that video. I will go ahead and cue the video all over. So please, our production crew, if you want to go ahead and cue the video while I'm waiting for our CEO to come and do some input again here and after the video.
Let's go with the next phase.
Okay. Okay then. So let's go ahead and take us to our next phase on this program, which is basically we're going to be talking about some. I think I'm going to request our CEO to come back in, Jean-Paul. If you are online, please come back. And before we go ahead and play our motivational videos, so which is going to be, I think, our final phase on this. Is Jean-Paul on? If not, let's go ahead and cue the video. Yes, I have Jean-Paul coming up back on. Okay, Jean-Paul, please. I have requested you to come in. We just heard about our AMRE farms. So can you talk to us a little bit about that, and then we're going to go ahead and play a video, if you don't mind.
Thank you very much, Hyman. I just pause for a few moments for the slides to come on.
Okay.
Great. So I'm going to take you very briefly through the pricing. I'm sure most of you will be asking yourself, what's really in it for us, the team that's behind this project. Our primary motive is to create social impact, to uplift the African spirit. But most of what we're doing is really because of our passion for uplifting Africa. So for you to provide the basic information, which I just described to you a few moments ago, you don't need to pay us anything. So that service is free. The e-verification service as well is free. And for you to promote your campaigns on our platform is also free, because we want to be the largest virtual marketplace within Africa, where you can access funding from however small the backer might be to however big their pocket might be as well. So we try to make our services as available and accessible to everyone, no matter your walk of life. That's why those sort of products, if I may, are free. Now, beyond those three services, one of the services we offer is the disbursement process.
Okay. I think our video is for your
platform.
Okay.
We do not charge you anything. Okay, it's free. Now, if you succeed in raising funding, we will charge you a meager 5% of the amount that is raised. Okay, so you can imagine it's a long way, ahead when it comes to whether we're going to charge you a fee or not, because you should be focusing on working with us to making sure that your campaign is suitable for the backers who have the funding to support your campaign. Once we roll out a particular product which we call the AMRE tokens, the commission which we will deduct from your funding will be just 1%. Tokens which I talked about right at the start in terms of my vision, which I said we should reach out and get hold of AMRE tokens and use that to uplift the African spirit. That will be the cheapest of services we'll provide. So there will be 1% price tag on the amount of funding that you raise if you've raised the funding using the AMRE tokens. Then over and above that, there are other support services which we will provide, which will be subject to a conversation between ourselves and the creators of the campaign. And these services basically include incubation support, due diligence, and participation on our pitching competition. So for campaigns that are donation-based campaigns and are raising less than $5,000 US, incubation will be free for the first 100 campaigns during the pilot phase. Okay, so within the next 90 days, if you create a campaign on our platform and your campaign, the funding goal is less than $5,000 US, and it's a donation-based campaign, that is to say, you are looking for donation to support the campaign, we will provide you free incubator support. That is for the first 100 campaigns during the pilot phase. This free support will end by the 21st of March. Beyond the pilot phase, you would have to contact our sales team and we will provide you with what it takes to get incubator support from us. The same applies to due diligence. What I'd just like to quickly talk about to you is the competition. These first 100 campaigns will participate in something which we call a pitching competition. Because we are a 100% digital platform, we will organize a real-time online pitching competition where 3 international backers will pledge to provide prize money or funding for the campaigns that will win that competition. The first 100 campaigns will be eligible to participate in the pitching competition. They will be voted upon by the 100 B2C backers, the 1,000 B2C backers will vote, and then we'll have a short list of campaigns that will pitch direct to the backers, live, real-time, online, and will win a prize money. Okay? So there will be registration for that pitching competition, which will take place no later than May 2021. So you can imagine if you create a campaign within our pilot phase, you stand the chance of participating in the pitching competition, you stand the chance of winning prize money to fund your campaign. Every other service beyond $5,000 for reward-based campaigns and for equity-based campaigns, those ones would require that you contact our sales team for us to discuss the pricing. So that's it for pricing. I hand over again back to the crew, the hype man, for the next step to be unveiled.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jean-Paul Nook, our CEO. You are actually very, very detailed when it comes to putting things together. I like this, basically. We're going to be moving now to our next phase on this, which is basically talking about motivational videos. However, I have people who have been talking about, I've had some requests in about on questions. So if you have any questions at this time, please, if you're on Facebook, feel free to actually type in your questions on our Facebook page. And the next thing we're going to be talking about is we're going to be playing some motivational videos. But however, before we do that, I want to talk personally about campaigns in Africa. Some of us have been able to have the privilege to actually go across Africa and actually began or help with some campaigns out there. We have from agriculture, farming, poultry, and things like that, to maybe startups in hotels and publishing, so in various industries. So imagine, I think every one of us out here actually have know someone who actually has some kind of campaign, has some kind of project they want to do. Maybe is it to build a school? Is it to build? Is it maybe to do some sustainable farming to help a community? Is it maybe a community for the blind? For example. I mean, if you have any of those things, or if you know someone, you have a friend or you have family members who have any of those things, this is the time, this is the platform for them to be able to have something to back them up, have some backers who are going to back them up on this campaign so they can go ahead and start it and be able to help Africans and Africa indeed. So our backers here are Africans and lovers of Africa and friends of Africa. So why don't we get our backers? Why don't we get our campaign sponsored or backed by our own sources, and African sources? So and that's why we have this platform. That's one other reasons why we have this platform in here. So I myself, I know about a lot of people who are actually into farming, and this is something I've brought them on into this for them to be able to have some kind of means of backing up or financing this project. So I'm inviting everyone. If you don't have a campaign, you know a friend, or you have a family member, invite them to our website. It's amrefinance.com. So invite them to our website, amrefinance.com. And they'll be able to actually go ahead in there, create a campaign just as our CEO walked us through, and be able to have this finance. And it costs nothing to do it. It's all free. $0 indeed to do it. $0, 0 francs, 0 shilling to do it. So why don't you go ahead, 0 naira to do it? Why don't you go ahead and do it? So again, let me go ahead and cue our video, our next video, which is basically we're going to be having some motivational videos. But like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to type those questions on our Facebook page. Okay. So while the video will be queuing up, if you have any questions, feel free. And we're going to take some time. If our CEO needs to step up and answer those questions, they will do that. If our operational team has to do that, they will do that as well. And also, if our legal team, if it's a legal question, we have a legal team in place that will be able to do that as well. Okay? Okay, let's go ahead and cue that video, please. Let's do that now. And while we're doing that, I'll go ahead and keep us, busy in here with our sounds from Africa. So again, it's a time for Africa indeed.
Yeah, so I think the final part of this presentation, my interventions on today's live show is just to take you through what will happen, in addition to us trying to recruit backers and creators, we will also carry out outreach activities. And one of the most important outreach activities we'll carry out is fortnightly webinars, okay? These are basically live, real-time, online sort of sessions we're going to have, okay? Because obviously, creators, those who have interest in creating campaigns on our platform, would be very pleased for us to give them more information and simulate how the e-verification process will work. Our Chief Operating Officer, which is Shelton, will take us through that, and that will happen in on the 8th of January. So once we're back from Christmas break, we'll have a webinar then. So every 2 weeks, we'll have a webinar. The next one will be on once we have the first one, the second one will be on the 22nd of January. That will be on the incubator support. It will be my pleasure to take you through that so you understand what you get in terms of service as far as incubation is concerned. Then on the 5th of February, our Chief Information Officer, our technology guy, will take you through the smart contracts on blockchain so you you understand the funds flow. He will do that. He will co-host that with our chief finance officer. They will take you through piecemeal disbursements, smart contracts, and all that sort of stuff. Then on the 19th of February, we'll have a presentation on the due diligence that will be done by our chief finance officer. So you understand what criteria must be met from a purely audit and compliance standpoint, so that your campaign can be worth making them available and marketed in the eyes of backers. Then 2 weeks later, on the 5th of March, we will have a presentation on promotion. This presentation will take you through the details of our pitching competition, which you remember I said will take place no later than May. So those campaigns which would have been launched by 5th of March when we'll have this webinar, they will understand exactly how to enroll on the pitching competition. They will understand what the prize value is. They'll understand how much funding you can get from there. They'll also understand how to promote their campaigns on our various communities, social media communities such as Facebook, LinkedIn, on our platform as well, that's on our website, and get the funding they want to achieve. And finally, it will be my pleasure right at the end of the pilot phase on the 19th of March to take you through the AMRE tokens, which really is at the heart, is really the ethos of our campaign. AMRE tokens are obviously very important, and I'll take you through those. Remember, when I talked about pricing, I mentioned to you that the cost of raising a campaign on our platform will reduce from 5% to 1% if you use AMRE tokens, and that's exactly what I'll be talking to you about in detail and how it works. So I'd like you to note these dates. We will obviously use our website and social media to remind you when these dates are about to get by, so that you can join us and participate in these webinars. The final thing I'd like to mention about the webinars is that in addition to our team, our senior leadership team doing the presentation, you will also have a guest speaker, a VIP guest speaker, an expert in the area that will be presenting. So for example, if we are talking due diligence, you will have a very, very senior legal consultant and a very senior chartered accountant coming in to really explain the importance of due diligence. Okay, if we're doing a presentation on AMRE tokens, we'll have an expert coming in from one of the blockchain infrastructures, be it from Ethereum, be it from Bantu, be it from whatever other blockchain infrastructure that we have, so that they will really tell you and give you confidence about what we are doing. So I thought I should just take you through the next steps as we draw nearer to the end of our session. I think before I hand over to the hype man, I would like to say we'd like to allow the final minutes of our show to take questions. So you can drop your questions on any of our social media, preferably on Facebook where you're watching us live. We'll pick up the questions and then we'll respond to them. Over to you, hype man.
Thank you very much. Again, our CEO, Mr. Jean-Paul Milk. That was quite a very, very in-depth explanation. So let's move forward now and talk a little bit about some of the questions that we have in here. We have a question that is coming out from one of our viewers in here. It says, when a project is financed, how will repayment be made? So will the interest be paid, or will interest be paid back, or those who fund who own shares on the project? So I know that's the question that had come out earlier. So, but if you can go for the sake of our viewers and also the fact that it's a launch day. So let's go ahead and tackle that question. I'll let our CEO tackle that, if you don't mind, Mr. Jean-Paul Milk, please. Jean-Paul?
Yeah, sorry, I didn't hear you well. The sound quality was a little bit down.
Okay.
But I suppose we are taking up questions now. If there are any questions, I'd like to respond to them before we wrap up with a motivational video. Is that right?
Okay. Let's. So we have a question And so the question, it comes from one of our viewers, Mr. Yeah, that's Dr. Richard Ferry. I know he's based here in Dallas. He's actually one of our leaders out here in Dallas, the Dallas area. It's the Reverend Dr. Richard Ferry. So it says, when a project is financed, how will repayment be made? So that's the first question, part of the question. Then the second part will be, will interest be paid back, or those who fund would they be shareholders basically to the project? So, you know, did you get me?
Okay, so again, I'm afraid for some reason I can't hear you very well, but I'm just looking through Facebook to see if there are any specific questions. So I think I'll just share some of the comments that are there. I can see, you know, I can see from Eugene in Canada saying good job. Thank you very much, Eugene. I can see, you know, an applause, hands of applause from Sky mostly. Thank you very much. Same from Franzi. I can see Yannick says great. Thank you very much as well. Tabe Esther, Scott Tiku. You know, guys, thank you very much for your kind words. If you have any questions, I'm glad to take them up. Solange says fantastic. Thank you. Yannick again says, time for Africa. This is wonderful, guys. These are really encouraging words. Nelly says, very much time for Africa and African initiatives. Great job. Nihat says, good job, team. Thank you. Yeah, so I'm scanning down for questions. Keep the good works. That's what Richard says. Thank you, Richard. Okay, seems like there's a question from Richard. Question: when a project is now, this is a question from Richard Ferry. He says, when a project is financed, how will repayment be made? Will interest be paid back, or those who fund will own shares on the project? So thank you very much, Richard. I like that question. So his question is, what is the need for the backers? So here I'll make a couple of points. The first one is that there are three types of projects on our campaign. There are projects that are looking for donations. Okay, there are projects that are looking for people who want to support an idea. So you want them to pre-finance your campaign so that you can give them reward items. And there are projects that are looking for impact investors. For donation-based projects, the donors don't expect anything back in return. So no interest, no equity, okay? The only thing which happens is that they would like to see social impact. So the only thing they'll be asking of you is what is the social impact you're going to create? That's what they are donating for, okay? Now, for community services activities, so activities where you actually generate revenue by carrying out the activity. I give you an example. Let's say within the neighborhood of, I don't know what, let's say the neighborhood of Limbe in the southwest province of Cameroon, or I don't know, Bamenda. Let's say there isn't, or even in the village of, I don't know what, let's say in Obala, there is no MRI or CT scan, okay? And the medical doctor comes up with a project to install a CT scan in Obala. Okay, that's in Cameroon. It may be that what the contributors or the backers of the campaign will get is that whenever they need an MRI scan, they will be able to go into that clinic or into that laboratory and get the scan with a 50% discount. That is pre-selling. But when it's a donation, you don't get any financial return. The third category is impact investments, okay? So if you have a campaign and you're looking for impact investors, then what the investors will be checking on your campaign is what is the social impact it's going to create on the one hand, and on the other hand, what will be the return on my investment? And that is where it will be mandatory for such a campaign to go through incubation, because we must ensure that they know what they're doing. They don't take people's money and they cannot pay them back the return on the investment. They'll go through proper due diligence to make sure that they don't waste people's money. And they will also go through piecemeal disbursement, which is to ensure that we are able to attest that they've completed the milestone before we disperse the next installment of funding. I hope I have been able to respond to your question, Richard. If not, please drop us a note on our social media. We will be glad to respond to you in private. Thank you.
Thank you indeed.
So I'm just scanning through again. If I find any other questions, I will gladly respond. Let me see. So that was the only other question there. Okay. So perhaps I will hand back to the hype man, who will perhaps make a few remarks. Then I'll give a closing word. Once I give my closing word, I'm sure there will be a motivational video, and then we'll be done for the day. Please feel free to drop us questions right now while we are live, or you can drop it on to us on our website or on social media. Hype man.
Thank you very much, Mr. CEO. Thank you, Mr. Jean-Paul Nook. Thank you again for such a wonderful tackling of that question. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to give about 5 more minutes before we go ahead and wrap this up, so that if anybody has a question, we can go ahead and answer that question for them. Again, what I want to say is that we get through situations where we have tons of projects. Personally, I have a lot of projects that are actually sponsored back home in Africa. And I have projects that we call sometimes in the Congos. For example, I had a few years ago, and some individuals who came here in the Dallas community asking for help with some projects in the Congos for the blinds and basket weaving and things like that. So, and this is a very good opportunity for things like that. That's what I was saying. For somebody to be able to step in and be able to get funding, get some people to back them up, at least you know, in a non-profit status, let's put it that way, or even for profit. So we have tons of categories. We said already that we have 3 categories in which we can qualify folks, we can qualify businesses and qualify small projects on them. So at this time, I want us to go ahead and motivate our family members, motivate our friends, look into our networks and see what's out there for Africa. This indeed is a time for Africa. I'll go ahead and choose something else while we're waiting for the questions to come up. So let me go ahead and play this. Ok, on a eu une question qui est venue depuis un de nos téléspectateurs à Paris. Donc, je vais transmettre la question. Je vais poser la question sur notre page Facebook. Donc, la question est que est-ce qu'on peut inclure aussi les musiciens dans cette AMRE Finance plateforme. Donc, si on a, par exemple, on a des jeunes qui ont une communauté musicale, je crois spécifiquement c'est au Cameroun, ils ont une communauté de musiciennes qui cherchent des sponsors, ils cherchent et ils ont un impact aussi dans leur communauté. Donc, on veut chercher moyen de pour des sponsors, quoi. Donc, est-ce qu'on peut le admis dans notre plateforme? Voilà, c'était la question, mais donc, j'ai traduit ça. So it says, can a community music project be sponsored under AMRE Finance platform? That was a question that came up. And I think, Jean-Paul, I'll let you for you to go ahead and do that. You can answer in French as well as in English as well. So go ahead.
Well, so I think I'll just say my final word before we wrap up. Once again, thank you very much indeed, everyone, for joining us. I know you've taken time off your very busy schedule to come to our
So I think I see what
campaigns.
Okay.
You know, as the general public, because the community, the African community, stands to benefit from what we are trying to do. So I just like to thank you very much and say that we're going to reach out to you. Please do reach out to us as well, and be amongst the 100 campaigns that will be shortlisted for the pitching competition. Because I tell you what, we're not going to be having a virtual launch event in May when we do the pitching competition. We're going to be having a live event, which will be a big bang event. So for all those 100 campaign creators who want to be with us, you know, in May for our pitching competition, which will be full go live with 100% functionality on our products, please come on board right now, create your campaigns, join us, let us uplift the African spirits. You know, reach out to us for the AMRE tokens. Let us just do it. Man, let's do it. It's our time. It's time for Africa. Let's go for it. Thank you very much indeed. And I wish you a happy festive period. For those who are not Christians, I wish you a happy holiday as well. And we'll hook up again when we have our next webinar. That will be on the 6th of January, where we'll be taking you through the e-verification process. Thank you.
Thank you very much, CEO Mr. Jean-Paul. There was a question that was asked, so I'll go ahead since I have some insights of this as well. It was about the fact that it was asked in French, so I can answer it both in French and in English. So I'll go in English first. It says, can a community music project be sponsored? That was the question. It came from one of our viewers in here from in France, in Paris, a friend of Africa. So the answer here is yes. It's a cultural. If I think it falls under our cultural arm. So yeah, it can be sponsored. A community music project that's it's cultural. So of course it can definitely be sponsored. So in French, oui, c'est un projet musical, culturel musical peut être sponsorisé par par AMRE Finance. Donc, AMRE Finance AMRE Finance c'est une plateforme là où des choses comme par exemple un groupe musical peut se tenir et voler. Donc, so you can take a flight on a platform such as us. AMRE Finance is a place. So basically, again, our CEO has concluded this, and on my side, I'll go ahead as the hype man. I'll say, okay, it's time for us to sign out. So I'll say our production crew, you can cue something in while we go ahead and close this. Okay.